The following presentation is a production of Ride the Wave Media.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Kaya podcast. I am recording this one from my car because, life sometimes, okay? But I was very inspired by my call to the credit card company this morning to do a little podcast episode. It's been a while. And I figured, if I just record in my car when I'm driving, it's not going to be super profesh. The sound quality when you're driving or listening probably not be the best, but the content is going to be fire, okay? So this morning I had to call the bank, the credit card company, because I've been getting emails and a text that was like, you have to make a payment. And I've already paid my monthly payment. So anyway, right, I'm getting hounded by them. Very confused, so I make a phone call in. So this episode, this little chat, this little processing my experience is not about the fact that I had to call in and yes, got all that sorted out. Apparently they were adding $1.99 fee to still have paper statements that I did not know about. So $1.99 was short, and then they were considering it late. So there's that. But when I called in, okay, I have never, we all know that calling into these places, the runaround to try to get a person on the phone is ridiculous. However, this company had this mastered. And I had to call back twice because once I finally got to somebody the first time, as I feel is like pretty par for the course, I'm chatting with her and mid-sentence, she just stops talking or I lose the contact. We lose the connection. And I wait. 4 minutes I wait. And she never comes back. And then the call at 8 minutes eventually hangs up. And I'm just like, whatever. So I had to go through this highly painful process 2 times. But while I was going through it, this metaphor for life just hit me. And also, I'm recording this under a Pisces full moon and the beginning of eclipse season, a partial lunar eclipse tonight. So par for the course, but their recording is already there. So it's just interesting, right? Themes of letting go, themes of just life and our cycles and our cycles and our cycles. And also this thing of looking at this, when I call in, it's here's the options, here's your balance, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, what would you like to do? You can say things like blah. And I say, talk to a person. And then she comes back on and says, okay, I see that you would like to talk to a person. I'm wondering if you want to talk to a person about your balance. Then I say no. And they say, okay, well, I'm wondering if you want to talk to a person about this. And I say no. And they say, okay, we have an online system if you'd like. And I say, talk to a person. And they say, well, they don't say well. They say, okay, I see you want to talk to a person. And then they say, but our online system can help you at a much faster pace. And I just was it was so weird to feel totally manipulated by a recording to call into a credit card company because she was validating that I wanted to talk to a person and then she was redirecting me. And I just kept thinking about life, right? And it's one, how easily we know what we want. We see the life, we see the goals, we have the desires, and then people or outside influences or our past traumas or just life, the busyness of life, the demands of life, and we totally get squirreled away, right? Because this woman on the phone that's a pre-recording was finally well, you can wait for a person, but it's going to take some time, right? I've never tried so hard to talk to a human and been so gaslit and steered away. But the way that it was, I don't know, it was so different than most of them. It wasn't oh, I don't understand what you're saying. It was she knew exactly what I was saying. And that company was going to do its damnedest to not have me talk to a person. And being a Leo, of course, the will of the Leo is like, nope, my eyes are set on talking to a person. I will figure this out. But then I had to go through that process twice. And I literally thought about how often we have to go through these hard processes, or we have to literally know so clearly what we want. And the challenge becomes digging in and sticking to the life we want, the partnerships we want, the kind of lifestyle and money and jobs and time that we want, because there is so much deterring us from it. And at some point, right, there was a thought where I was like, okay, well, I was like, well, should I just pay the balance through here? But I was like, no, I'm not going to pay a late fee over something that I wasn't told about, over $1.99, which I didn't even know that that's what it was till we got on the phone. And then I had to call back a second time. And it was 4 things of saying, no, I want to talk to a person. Do you want to pay off your balance? No. Do you want to use our online system? No. Do you have a question regarding your something? I'm like, no. They're like, okay, yeah, I know you want to talk to a person, but oftentimes there's a long wait. And let me just tell you, the long wait was like 30 seconds. As soon as I worked my ass off to get to that point on the phone call, then it rang and somebody immediately picked up. And I asked the second person, I was like, hey, do you guys have a way to call me back in case the call gets interrupted again? And she said, no, this is only an inbound call center. And then it made perfect sense, right? This company does not want to be paying people to get on the phone and answer the phone and answer any questions. So they're doing their damnedest. And yeah, I just thought about, how does that feel in life? Right now, Pisces full moon, I feel like I am just like being slammed against the waves, crashed against the waves. And we all go through it, full moon or not, believe in astrology or not. I think we all go through times where we feel like we're just slammed up against a wave, right? Crashing. And then we come up for air and we're like, okay, I'm finally going to get to talk to a person, right? Or I'm finally going to get that job, or I'm finally going to break this pattern. And then boom, right? Are you sure? Can I help you with this? Why don't you try this route? Why don't you try this route? So I just think that there's something really important about getting very clear, because when we know what we want, when we know the life we want, the space and time and way we want to spend our energy, I'm not saying that we don't falter. I falter myself all the time. But I think what becomes really easy is when we got thrown into the crashing waves, or when we get thrown into a phone call that's a automated, generated response, it's easy to get swayed, right? It's easy to give up. It's easy to just fine, I'll just pay the online fee instead of deal with this. But ultimately, once I finally got to the lady and our call did not get interrupted, she reversed my fees, she explained the $1.99, and she fixed the problem with me in less than a minute. But it took me probably 5 minutes to even get there. So I don't know why. I was just like, I got to do a podcast about this. This is so, and also bravo to that company, because I've been in sales a long time and I know how to have conversations, negotiate different things. And they even almost had me being like, yeah, I guess I'll just pay it. There's a long wait. The truth of the matter is they were not being truthful. They were not truthful. There was no long wait. It would have taken me longer to hang up the phone, pull out my laptop, log in online than it would have to be able to sit on the phone. And I think that that's another thing. We think that we think that if things might be harder than they're going to be, or we think, oh, this is the easy way out, right? This feels easier. This feels simpler. And maybe it will be. Maybe sometimes something is easier, but is it what you really, really want? Is it what you really desire? Everything in life, in my opinion, is a choice, right? There's the stuff that happens to us, but I think when we're really clear, we get to make choices. We have a lot more control of our lives and our destinies than we realize. And if we want to make a choice, we can. If we, want to have a different life, if we want to have a different job, we can. We just have to make it through like the 4 recordings that are trying to sway us and push us in a different direction. So that's my little tidbit for today, y'all. Don't get swayed, or do, but at least know that you're getting swayed. Have the clarity, know what you want, know what you need, and have the audacity to go after it and get it.